Consider the following problem. In this figure, ADC is a straight line and AB equals BC, which equals CD. Also, DA equals DB. Find the size of the angle BAC.
We're going to start by labeling angle BAC as X. We know that triangle BDA is isosceles because these two lengths, as we're told in the question, are the same, which means that this angle DBA is also X. As a result, we can find that BDA is equal to 180 minus 2x.
As point D lies on a straight line, the angle ADB and BDC must add up to 180. So we can write that angle BDC plus 180 minus 2x equals 180. From here, we can minus 180 from both sides, giving us angle BDC minus 2x equals 0. From here, we can add 2x to both sides, which tells us that the angle BDC is 2x.
We are told that the lengths DC and BC are equal, which means that the triangle DBC is isosceles. As a result, we can say that angle DBC is also equal to 2x, which means that since we know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180, we can calculate angle DCB. So we know that 2x plus 2x plus DCB equals 180. So 4x plus DCB equals 180. From here we can minus 4x from both sides to get DCB equals 180 minus 4x.
As we are told in the question, the triangle ABC is isosceles, which means that the angle BCD is also x, as the angle BAC is x.
Which means that we know that 180 minus 4x has to equal x.
We have the equation 180 minus 4x equals x. We add 4x to both sides, giving us 180 equals 5x. And finally, we divide both sides by 5 to give us x equals 36.
There are lots of takeaways from these questions. First of all, the most important thing to remember is that for any triangle, we always know that the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. In addition, if it's an equilateral triangle where all of the lengths are the same, we know that the angle for every single corner of the triangle has to be 60 degrees, because if the lengths are all the same, then the angles are all the same. So if we call this angle A, we know that 3 times A equals 180 degrees, so A equals 60 degrees.
Some important rules to remember are the Z rule and angles on a straight line. For the Z rule, you need two parallel lines and a line cutting through those two parallel lines, which creates a Z shape. The two opposite angles in this Z shape are the same, and I will show you why. If we label the top Z point A and draw a straight line down from A to the parallel line, we will form a right angle with the bottom parallel line. Let's label this corner B and this corner C.
we know that this angle here is a right angle, so this angle has to equal 90 minus x. Since we know that all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180, we know that 90 minus x plus 90 plus some angle which we'll call question mark equals 180. So 90 plus 90 is 180, minus x plus question mark equals 180. And since we can minus 180 from each side, we get question mark minus x equals 0, so question mark equals x, which means that we know that this angle here equals x.
And finally, we have angles on a straight line. All this rule tells us is that all angles along a straight line must add up to 180. Quite simply. Another good tip is to always draw out a diagram if they haven't given you one, because it will help you visualize the question really well.
Thanks for watching.